Hey, what's up, Vox and Hops heads? I'm Matt, the vocalist of Kryptopsy and the host of the Vox and Hops podcast, brought to you by Sound Talent Media, where I sit down with fellow metal musicians to talk about their lives, music, and craft beer. This is it. We did it. 2020 is finally behind us, and now we are firmly planted in 2021. Fingers crossed that this will be a better year than last year. But one thing that was amazing in 2020 was the vast amount of amazing music which was released, and we were blessed with a bunch of bangers. I, of course, just like last year, had to team up with my brother Oli Pinard, the bassist of Kryptopsy, Cattle Decapitation, Akurion Vengeful, to hash out our top 10 records from 2020. It was just as the top 10 Quebec breweries was a daunting task, so was this one. So there are a bunch of honorable mentions included in this episode as well. But before we get to me and Ollie's top 10 list, I would like to shine some light and pick the brain of the Vox and Hops metal architect, the great Jerry Monk himself. For the past month, Jerry has been curating the Brutal Awakenings playlist. He's been doing this for the past month, and it's going to be a monthly thing. So we just wrapped up the December Brutal Awakenings playlist, and now starting in January, he's going to be picking the top, the coolest, the most brutal and extreme new music which drops every Friday, and he's going to put that into the Brutal Awakenings playlist, which I will share. So it was very, very important to me to find out what Jerry's top 10 albums were. So I sat down with him for a mini chat just to see what he thought was the best in 2020. Here is that chat right now. Hey, what's up? I'm here with Jerry Monk, the metal architect for Vox and Hops, and I would like to hear from you what your top 10 albums of 2020 have been, since you're so important to curating my personal list. So I'm interested in seeing what the master has for his own.
Yeah, man, this year was, I think, better than last year. I think with the pandemic going on, more people putting stuff out, maybe not even planning to put stuff out. I mean, I saw some bands put out 2 or 3 albums. So, I mean, it's been loaded. But without further ado, we'll start with number 10. Number 10 for me was Ether Coven. Everything is temporary except for suffering. A little sludge band out of Florida. Just lots of emotion, lots of atmosphere. Absolutely crushing stuff.
Awesome. That came out on January 17th via Church of Inverted Hope.
Yes. And number 9, we have Earthrot, Black Tides of Obscurity, a little black and death metal band from Australia. That was one that early on grabbed my attention. Every time I went back to it, was just crushing. The riffs are heavy. It's got that buzzsaw, old school death metal sound that I absolutely love. So definitely stuck there all year.
Which is amazing. A lot of the stuff on your list is actually from early on in the year, which I wanted to mention. This one dropped March 6th via Season of Mist, the first Australian band of your list.
Yes. There's first of many. Australia, man. Australia with the death metal. I mean, mainly known for core. But, yeah, man, death metal and black metal down there is definitely growing. Number 8, ladies from Denmark, Convent, Puritan Masochism. Those riffs, just out of this world, man. Just heavy, pummeling, ass-kicking, whatever you want to call it. Just straight out of this world.
And I'm super happy they're on your list because I totally forgot to give them a mention in my honorable mentions because I love this record as well. So when I saw it on your list, I was like, woo, good.
Yeah.
Came out early in the year, January 24th, Napalm Records.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that stuck with me all year. Every time I went back to it, I think the Eye finished as my top track on Spotify for the year, which is kind of weird, but yeah, that one was up there at the top, I believe. And then number 7, got us another Aussie band. This one really threw a kink into my top 10 because it came out super late in the year. It was Growth, The Smothering Arms of Mercy. It's like this weird hybrid prog death metal band with a little bit of ulcerate thrown in. Definitely crushing stuff. That's one that I listened to, man, probably 4 or 5 times the first couple of days it came out. It's about an hour long too, so it'll take up some time. But yeah, it was an automatic buy as well on Bandcamp once it finally dropped. It wasn't available for purchase the first day, but yeah, grabbed it when it finally dropped.
Very cool. And that came out December 4th via Wild Thing Records. And a great record. I agree. You had sent it my way immediately, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's just absolutely crushing. I can't get enough of it. I actually listened to some of it today. trying to remember which was my favorite song off there. But yeah, I listened to a bit of it today. Then at number 6, we have another Australian band. This is a super group featuring Dave from Psychroptic. Is Werewolves, The Dead Are Screaming. That was one a friend of mine sent. He sent me the single, and he was like, I bought the vinyl just off this one single. So I definitely checked it out, ordered a physical as well. They have another album coming out in early January again, and I believe they have a third written as well.
That's amazing.
I mean, these guys are just crushing it. I mean, they must not have much to do, because man, 3 records in a year span, absolutely mind blowing. But I believe, based off the 2 singles they've already dropped for this new one, it probably will be in my top 10 next year as well.
Wow, very, very cool. And Dave is a hardworking dude. And when he's not touring with Psychroptic, he's, organizing tours and bringing people down to Australia. He's brought Kryptopsy down. Dave is an excellent human, excellent drummer, and his brother handled the production on a lot of this record. So that came out April 24th via Prosthetic Records.
Yeah, and the next one will be on Prosthetic as well. Number 5 was a number late one as well. And a lot of people that are in the black metal scene are giving this some big hype, some big praise. That's Ackley's Melano.
Hell yeah.
Little band from Colorado. It's just, man, it's straight nightmare fuel. I got my physical in today. They came from France for some reason. But yeah, super excited to get that, listen to that in the car versus on the phone. But yeah, it is an absolutely haunting record. If you like things that will mess with your mind, definitely check these guys out. He's in another couple other bands, couple other black metal bands as well. I believe Nightbringer is one of them. But yeah, definitely check these guys out if you like the trippy stuff.
I do, and this was absolutely a great record. Great record. Weird-ass guitar riffage, but excellently mesmerizing at the same time. Definitely like this record.
And if you like ambient stuff, the earlier stuff is a little bit more ambient, a little bit more keyboard stuff versus riffing and drumming and whatnot. But yeah, all their stuff is flawless. Can't recommend them enough. So that goes to number 4, another black metal band from Portugal, Guerrilla with Limbo.
Hell yeah.
That one was just up there early on. I'd heard their last album, Unsettling Whispers, I believe earlier this year, and was instantly hooked on that one. Saw they were putting out another one. Started checking out the singles. It's a little bit longer. Some of the songs are 13, 14, 15 minutes long, so it will be a chore if you're not used to that kind of stuff. But definitely check them out if you haven't. Those guys definitely be blowing up. They're on Seasons of Mist.
That's
definitely
correct.
Check them out.
That came out in the summer, late July.
Yeah, correct.
Number 3.
Number 3 is a band from Finland, Proscription, Conduit. It's a blackened death metal. When you think blackened death metal from, Sweden, Finland, you're thinking, and like Poland, Northern Europe, you're thinking Behemoth. These guys blow Behemoth out of the water. Their vocalist name is Christ Butcher. It's just riffs for days, crushing, more black metal than death, but definitely highly recommended. Instant buy on Bandcamp Friday when it came out. Can't say enough good things about this album.
Excellent. That came out September 24th via Dark Descent Records.
Yes.
2 left. Who are your top 2? The metal architect, Jerry Monk himself, is going to let us know.
These 2 can go back or forth, but definitely number 2 is Pisage d'Hiver, Emwald, the 2-hour masterpiece by Winthar from Dark Space. This guy has been doing this since the late 90s, I believe, doing demos and ambient stuff, and then finally put out a full length this year, and it is absolutely mesmerizing. You feel like you're trapped in a snowstorm the whole time. Just riffs and blast beats, screams and screeches, soundscapes. It is absolutely crushing.
Awesome. And it's another early release. I love that so many early releases just stuck around the whole year on your list. This came out January 25th via Kunsthal Productions.
And number one are the guys from New Zealand, Ulcerate, Stare Into Death and Be Still. Another early one. A buddy of mine got me on these guys last year, and it seems like their early stuff wasn't as great, but just grew and grew and grew into this monster. And the drum work is out of this world. Everything's in order. Nothing's out of place. It's a perfect album, in my opinion. 10 out of 10. Can't say enough about it. You know, if I was ever to do a top 10 of the decade, that one would probably be in there somewhere because I cannot get enough of it.
Amazing. The Metal Architect has spoken, people. Check this out. Get ready for more Metal Architect Brutal Awakenings playlists, which are coming up in the month of January. Thank you so much, Jerry, taking some time to share your top 10 with all the Vox and Hops heads out there.
Cheers, guys.
Boom. Man, Jerry Monk knows what's going on. If there's any people in the record industry that are listening to this right now and are in need of a new A&R, Jerry Monk is your man. Trust me, he has his finger firmly planted on extreme metal's pulse. Now, it's time for me and Oli Pinard's top 10 cumulative albums of 2020, plus a bunch of honorable mentions. Get ready, people. This is Vox and Hops, episode number 217.
I warn you, what you are about to hear is very disturbing indeed.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Today I am back with my bassist, Oli Pinard of Cattle Decapitation, Kryptopsy, Akurion Vengeful, and we are here to do, yet again, our top 10 metal releases. And this year, of course, it's the wonderful year of 2020. It was a super, super shitty year, but we were blessed with very, very, very many excellent metal releases, and it was extremely difficult to get this down to 10, but we did. It was very, very, very hard, but we got there. And we obviously have a bunch of honorable mentions that we're going to go through afterwards because it was just too hard. It was crazy. Let's start with just a simple little, how are you doing? How are you coping? How are you feeling?
I'm good, I guess. Then I'm home since March. It's crazy. I feel like the whole year was like a dream, but no, it's all real. It's so bizarre. So like, I feel like the chalet we went in March, I feel like it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know. And exactly that. I was about to mention that we were in a cottage in the woods when COVID really, really was taken seriously and the lockdown started, and we were writing material for what is going to become the next Crisptopsy record. And we were just watching everything collapse, and we were so stressed out. So we were drinking craft beers and just writing madness music.
And the world was falling apart. And we were like alone in the woods, like, what is going on?
Just heading into waking up every morning a little bit, hungover, heading into town, that 30-40 minute drive to
and every
restock.
day everything changed. Every day we saw the lineup outside and wash your hands. I was like, what happened last
And
night?
all the toilet paper being gone. It was crazy.
All the toilet paper, all the ramen, all the dry stuff.
Insane. Yeah.
Oh, it's
we did.
Also a funny fact, when me and Chris, we did another session, like another writing session in September, and the first day it was they announced the second lockdown.
Unbelievable.
Like we have to stop writing. Something is going on. Two times.
Vox and Hops is all about hanging out with my metal friends, talking about their lives, music, and craft beer. But today we're doing a top 10 list. What beer are you drinking on your side there, Ollie, tonight?
Tonight's the night.
Hell yes.
Going with the Kryptopsy beer from Kahnawake Brewing.
Hell yes.
It's so good. It's so easy to pound this. I mean, I had 18 of them like by myself. So easy. So
I love it.
It tastes great. It's refreshing, and it's also like it's a light beer, so it's all right. It's okay.
It's safe.
I can
It's
drink a
safe
lot of
for
them.
tonight.
It's safe for me.
It is amazing, and shout out to Drew from Kahnawake Brewing Company for brewing such an amazing brew. It is a New World Pilsner called Crisptopsy, Pilsner Supremacy. It is a New World Pilsner which has been dry hopped with Mosaic hops, which is super, super avant-garde. And I love that. I love that. And I love that he was just so willing to do it. On my side, I'm drinking a young brewery, but is a brewery that made it into my top 10 breweries of Quebec from this year. This is Cinquième Baron. Very, very cool brewery. They opened like right in the middle of the pandemic, and they've been killing it. Every style, no matter what they put out, it's just amazing. This is a Schwartz beer. It is in Gatineau. There's something going on in Gatineau. There's so many great breweries. Obviously, Buck Canada's out there, but this one to watch, and it's super metal as fuck. I love it. Called Black, the Schwartz beer, so it's gonna be nice and smoky. I'm gonna crack this, pour this out. You start this off. We each picked 5 bands. It was very, very hard to make our cumulative top 10 list, just as we did last year. So you go first. Any of your releases?
Okay, so there's no particular order.
No, we're just gonna go back and forth like last year.
It's really impossible to name 5 of them. So I'll try it. I'll do my best. Okay, so number 5, I'll go with. I have a list right here. I have to give this to the band Blight and the album Temple of Wounds.
Fuck yeah.
Blight from Montreal, featuring Gab from Iron Dissonance, ex-Iron Dissonance. Dude, I was waiting for this album for so long. But you know it. You know the album. Dom,
absolutely, yes. I had.
Remar, he worked on the album.
Yes.
So we know for a year that it's coming. So I was very stoked. Remember, I think it was last year we heard like some just some vocal session they did with the chant, the Gregorian chant, and I was so like, it's gonna be great. Gab is singing Gregorian chants. Wow. And it's the album is amazing. I love it. The vibe is cool. It's black and roll-ish. I really enjoyed it. Especially I discovered this album this summer when I was at my father's like chalet, or I don't know how you say that. And I was in the middle of the wood by myself with the headphone listening to Blight. It was a perfect first listen.
Absolutely, and I love that record as well. It dropped on June 5th via Zvart Records. Temple of Wounds by Blight. I luckily had a chat with Gab on the podcast. We talked all about this record. You guys can go back and check that out if you're interested. And you're absolutely right that our boy, the man that replaces you when you can't come on tour, the great Dom Grimard, was the producer of this. And I think it's the first record that he produced that is out there. That is, I may be wrong, but I feel like it's the first one that got signed. And
but I know for a fact he worked a lot on this album. I think he produced the vocal, like all the strings. So I think he's a big part of the process for sure. Great album, sounds great. I love the visual. Like everything Gab does is crazy. The visual, lyrics,
and it's cool.
Top-notch black metal.
The approach to clean vocals addition, but it's completely out of the ordinary.
It's haunting. It's, definitely haunting. I love it.
I love it.
What's your pick?
For myself, I got it's a strange year. I'm looking at my list right now, and I'm seeing a big mix of stuff. But there's a lot of stuff that leads to like trance moments where the tracks are long, the riffs are repetitive. It takes you on a journey. It's something that I've really been getting into over the years. So I'll just pick one just like that. I got Molasses. I love this record. It's called Through the Hollow. It was released on October 16th via Season of Mist. I luckily had a chat with Farida, their vocalist. She used to be a part of a band that I should have written down the name of, and everyone's going to say, of course it's this band, Matt, but it's escaping me at the moment. It will come back to me in a second. Excellent record, super, super just atmospheric, repetitive riffs. Takes you completely on a mind trip. It's all about how she's grieving her brother, who she was in a band with, who I'm gonna have to Google because it's gonna bother me. And
can you repeat the name of the band?
Molasses, but it's Molasses. Just
I never heard of them, so I'm gonna check it out.
Just amazing vocals. The so haunting, because the whole thing is talking about grieving her brother's death because he took his life, which is super horrible, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just driving me crazy that I don't know the name of this.
Should keep like a page on your browser on the
I'm gonna
metal archives.
Exactly, that's exactly where I'm going.
That's what I did.
But I did it for everything else except for this, because I'm supposed to know it. Oh, whatever. But no, I'm gonna have to get it. I'm sorry. Here, you dance to your next one, and I'll come back to it once I find it.
Okay, my next pick. Okay, let's go back to the beginning of the year. I was so stoked for this album. Intronaut, Fluid Existential Inversion. I'm just gonna double check it as well because I don't want to say.
I found it. It's the Devil's Blood. The Devil's Blood is a sick band. Exactly. Yeah. So Salim sadly took his life.
Okay. Yeah, Salim, he did commit suicide a few years
2013, I want to say.
Yeah, they played Montreal the year prior to that.
With
I saw them, man, and I never heard them before. When came to the show, I saw this rock and roll band playing, and this guy was like all covered in blood.
Absolutely.
The fuck. He was the only one on stage. The other guys in the band, they were clean. He was like a kind of West Borland kind of thing. He was the only one who dressed up. But then he played with Watain the same night. So I was like, okay.
No, but it was something that he would do. They were very into
I know.
Satanism.
I saw there's a mini documentary about him on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
You should check it out. It's very disturbing.
Okay, cool. So Molasses is basically like a group that just happened because they got invited to play a show at Roadburn. There's like a big connection between Roadburn and their band. They're from the Netherlands, and they were invited to play a show. They wrote some material for it. A lot of it was very haunting, talking about how she's, this is how she's cathartically dealt with her brother's taking his life. And they loved it so much, the experience, that they decided to pursue it and become a band, a real band. And they just released this record, and I love it. So on your side, you were going to talk about Intronaut, Fluid Existential Inversion.
Yeah, what's that song? Pangloss,
yes.
The heavy track.
That's my track too. Yeah, I love it.
I think it was the second single they put out. I was hooked. But I was already an Intronaut fan. So when I heard the first two singles, the first one came in like December of last year, and already I was like, wow, he used distortion on a fretless bass. That's awesome. I was freaking out. Then they released Pangloss. I think you mentioned something like you saw them with Cult of Luna. Am I right?
I saw them with Cult of Luna and Emma Ruth Rundle, and he was not there, the bassist. His name is? Remind me of his name.
Joe,
yeah. He broke his ankle.
Yeah.
Sadly, so he had to jump.
I think in the middle of the tour.
So I think it was like the second day of the tour or something. It was something ridiculous like that. It was like super early, and they had to play without him. They had some tracks playing, of course, but he's such a big part of the band. And
the time before that, I think in Montreal, I can't remember what tour was. They played without a drummer.
Really?
So it's been years since Intronaut played with the full lineup in Montreal. Yeah, I remember because Danny left the band, like they were about to go on tour and he left, or I don't know what happened, and they decided to carry on and they played the tour with the drum tracks.
Wow.
Intronaut without drummer. That's crazy, huh?
And they had Alex Rudinger, I think, play drums on this
He
specific
did
album.
on the album.
Just kill
And
it.
have you seen the drum playthrough?
I have, yes. Yeah.
This drummer is so sick.
Absolutely.
He's
And
one of my
I love this
favorite.
record. Just one of those, again, it takes you on a trip. There's all these different moods to it.
Mhm.
It's heavy as fuck, especially on that Pangloss track. If not, it's got the nice
Pangloss.
melodic areas. I feel like their vocals have gotten better,
Better.
way better,
Yeah.
honestly, because it was something that always sort of rubbed me the wrong
Mhm.
way on previous records. But this one, I was more digestible for myself.
I feel like the last two are very like they found their like niche.
Mm.
Like intro, they have their sound now, and I love it. Like you said, the vocal is way better now, and the production, the songwriting is solid. I love it a lot.
Plus, they got to play the Decibel Metal and Beer Fest, and our brother Ash Pearson went and flew and played drums for them at that show, which is just so cool.
Yeah, oh, dude, yeah, I remember I was with the Hash in Japan last February. We toured Cattle and Revo, and I was with Hash in the metro, in the subway, and he told me that I was listening to the album, and he just told me, oh yeah, I played those songs like with them a couple weeks ago. I was like, you played with Intronaut? Holy shit, man.
He's so damn
Good for you.
He's so
He's a
damn
cool
good.
guy.
Yeah, he is a cool
He's
guy.
a cool guy. Yeah. Shout out to Hash.
Another two-time Vox and Hops alumni. I'm sure it'll be 3 for him too. He's in too many projects.
Yeah.
Okay, up next on my side, probably it was hard. It was really, really, really hard to get it down. I'm going to go for something that's probably the most extreme that I have on mine, something that's disturbing, but yet super trance. Again, something that, you know, I don't partake in hard drugs, but if I did, I would listen to this. It came out on April 17th, Oranzi Pazuzu Mesterin. What a sick album.
Have you seen the live stream they put on?
I did, and it was, it's super amazing. Just an experience, which is what a live stream has to be now. You can't just stand in a room and play. It has to be something more.
No. Yeah.
So,
actually, Mike DeSalvo introduced me to this band with the album before that one, with the blue artwork. I can't remember the title. So I was waiting for the new one, and it was, you know, that one of those nights, you know, with a little bit of weed, and then lay down with headphones. You listen to the whole thing, and it's just magic. I love it.
Yeah, it was called. Sorry, the album was called Mesterin Kinsey. I said that wrong before. It came out via Nuclear Blast. So trance-inducing. Just these repetitive, very odd riffs that just take you somewhere else and really puts you in this
vocals and everything.
Very
the
strange.
ambience is, yeah.
I love it. That's something this is like a band that I would like to. I like going. We just spoke about Cult of Luna, Intronaut, Emma Ruth Rundle as a tour package. I would love to see extreme metal start doing stuff like that and creating eclectic packages. And I would love to put Kryptopsy out on the road with Oranzi Pazuzu and just see the vibe change from band to band.
Out of their comfort zone.
You know, and then there's that sound guy. We have it all the time. We go on tour with all these bands, and you know, I love it. I love them all. I love you all if you are listening. But it tends to feel the same all the time. It's the same aggressive thing, and then you got the local sound guy that's blasting Cannibal Corpse between each band as we're
bands.
So it's just never ending, just the same energy. And I would like to, you know, create more of an atmosphere, more of an eclectic experience when you go see a show.
Dude, I'm with you. Totally with you on that.
They're super extreme, but in a different way, and I think that we would fit well together. And
it's a different kind of extreme.
Yeah, excellent record. I strongly suggest people go check it out. Up next, what do you got there?
Okay, what was my next pick? Okay, I'll go with this one. Like the same theme as you. Let's go with Ulcerate.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Dude, I don't know if you're an Ulcerate fan, but this is, for me, one of my favorites from their catalog. It's so, oh man, it's beautiful and dark. You know, it's not just the two albums before. I feel like they were more. It was dark, really, really dark, like dissonant dark. I feel on this one they brought back a little bit. a little bit of light, you know? And no, man, the songwriting is just perfect. The closer, man, I can't remember what's the title again. I have like it's Dissolved Orders. One of the best death metal songs from 2020. Dissolved Orders. It's beautiful. Check it out.
Super sick. I will. Super sick.
I
I like the record. It was extremely intense. It was hard for me to get through it with one listen. I sort of had to break it up because it was just, you know, like sort of like, which is a band that I forgot to include on our honorable mention. I'm going to write it down right here. Like a Beneath the Massacre. You got to
forget about Beneath.
You got to take it in little doses to really appreciate it. For myself, I love it, but in little doses. And this Ulcerate record was the same thing. You are right. There's a little bit of light that came back into it, which you know, it creates more of a balanced listening experience. It's not just all one, you know, feeling of it's always nice to mess.
It's all the same colors.
Exactly.
I feel like this one is more, they explore a little bit more.
It's that taking us on a journey.
I love everything they put out, but at some point in the past years, I'm like, it's always the same. It's Ulcerate. You know exactly what it's gonna be, but with this one, I feel they bring something new on the table, and I really, really appreciate that. Awesome. Especially in an era where there's there's how many death metal bands there is out there? Like thousands. It's really hard to like pop out and shine, you know. I feel like this one, Ulcerate, is now an established band. It's one of the important death metal bands.
And it's super cool, you know, because they're from New Zealand. So for them to make their mark being so far away is always impressive as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. One of the best death metal show I've seen in my life was Ulcerate at Catacombs. Like,
really? Wow.
Years ago. And I was blown away by the energy. It was a real death metal show. It was scary. For real. You just look at the front man and like, shit, they don't fuck around. Anyway, it was really, really sick.
I love it. Stare into Death and Be Still by Ulcerate dropped on April 24th via Debbie Morty Productions. I hope I'm saying that right. Love it, love it, love it. For myself, we're going to go a bit more. My next three are all a little bit more mainstream bands, and
I think I know where you're going.
I just love them. And there's one in particular that I do not listen to singles. I don't like listening to singles because it ruins my experience with the album afterwards. With this one, I bit. They were doing these cool premieres at like a specific time on YouTube, I think it was. And I didn't really like the first track that they dropped. I just kept commenting on everyone that was posting it. Where's the chug? Where's the chug? Where's the tone? And then when they dropped the second one, Genesis, I was completely blown away. Love it. Yeah. Production's amazing. Dropped on September 25th. Of course, I'm talking about Deftones. Ohms.
What was the first single? Homes?
Oh, the last track, yeah, Ohms, yeah.
Which is Home. You didn't like Home?
No, even now I find it's missing something for me. It's missing the chug.
Yeah, of course, but it's good driving music. Even if I don't drive, like,
I was gonna say,
I would love to blast that song. I know, you know, I think for me this album is like a grower.
Yeah.
Like, when it came out, I loved it. Like, because I loved the first single when it came out. I was like so excited. But I don't know, the day of the release, I listened to the album like just once, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. But then I started listening again, and I learned 3 songs on the bass just for fun from that album. So I think, no, it's a really catchy song. I like it better than the one before, like Gore.
Yes.
I like the new one better.
Yeah. I have a strange relationship with Deftones. I really, really liked them when I was young. I was, around the fur, Adrenaline, Addict, White Pony. Loved it. I loved it until the point, and now I know the story of Back to School. I had the original where that track was not the opener, and they had to re-release the album because the label forced him to write a more single song.
It was the Limp Bizkit era.
Yeah,
So
exactly. They wanted to rap metal
They had to
something.
compete with new metal. Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause-
So
So
that
basically,
sort
they
of pushed
used
me off.
yeah.
The
They
Pink
used
Maggot. They
the
turned it.
closer to do a different song.
Exactly. It wasn't. It missed the mark with me, and then I just sort of went somewhere else. And then I discovered that I, got back into it via Palms because Chino went to go form a band with some dudes from ISIS, the band, not the terrorist. not funny, but yeah, and I love that band. And so then I was like, oh, okay, Chino, let's see what. And it was Gore, the record that dropped.
Mm-hmm.
And being in a band with Flo Munia, who loves Deftones so much, we listen to a lot of Deftones when we're on tour. So I didn't really need to listen because he would listen to it for me. And then
I was playing somewhere.
Yeah. I remember on Summer Slaughter 2008, we hid Adrenaline because we just couldn't listen to it anymore. and so I got back into it. I had minimal expectations for the album. I'm often disappointed with
Same here.
New metal bands, past the 2010s, and not many of them can still write a hit record.
Speaking of that, dude, it's not in my list, but it should be on my list, but it wasn't on the original list I sent you. But Seven Dust.
Oh yes, yeah, I forgot about them. Yeah.
Man, I loved it a lot. The new one, Blood from a Stone. It's how can I say that? It's a very dark year, a lot of how can I say, a dark thought went in my mind the whole time. And the day of the release, it was October 23rd, something like that. They put out they did a live stream, and I watched it, and changed everything. I was like, because I was already a Seven Dust fan, but that showed like all the positive side of life. I was like, yeah, I can do it. I can do it. So it's stupid, but I really love Seven Dust now. I'm a big fan. I have been for the past 2 months digging in their discography. Now I know everything. And that album changed a lot for me now. And since, like I said, the past 2 months, I feel way better. And I feel like it's because of Seven Dust.
Awesome.
It's crazy, yeah.
I've been a fan for a long time. I feel like this record, the one you're just speaking, Blood from a Stone, was missing the chug, which Deftones had.
Yes and no. There is some chugs, but the production, man, it's so massive.
Yeah.
Top-notch production. I love it.
Yeah.
The vocals are.
He's always amazing.
Yeah.
I was wary about this new Deftones, but I was instantly hooked. Every track there was something, and it was one of those things. And it came out on a very hard day. September 25th also had the Ocean record dropped on the same day, so my attention was divided. But the Deftones won for me that day. I listened to it, I think 3-4 times in a row. Love Ohms. Of course, everyone's probably heard it, but listen to it again.
Yeah.
You go next.
The Ocean.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with The Ocean, man, because I was waiting for this album for about 2 years. Not that bad, but still, I think they deliver. They had a concept. It's part 2. It's the second part of their Phanerozoic.
That's right.
Part 2, Mesozoic, Cenozoic.
You got it. Yeah. Drop the Metal Blade records on the 25th, just like Deftones.
I love it's different from the first part though. It's more how can I describe it? It's not Indian, but there's a lot of.
I feel it's proggier.
Proggy. It's not heavy.
No.
It's not heavy like the one before. But still, I love their universe. I love the Ocean universe. They have their own thing, and I love pretty much everything they put out. And the last one is no exception. I love it a lot. I've been blasting the album earlier today while I was cooking. So
it is an album like that you can do something, and it takes you,
very
the
enjoyable.
moods and carries you.
Yeah.
They brought back the vocalist of Catatonia to do a track, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, second time they had Jonas on the first and then on the second part, and the opening track of the second, it's kind of cool.
For myself, I absolutely loved Fanner Rozoic. Part 1 much more than part 2. Honestly, I feel like it missed
I prefer part 1 as well, but I feel like part 2 should be here because I think I listened to this album like 50 times this year. So obviously, it needs to be in my list.
I love it.
An important release for me.
I love it. Up next, March 27th, release Igor, Spirituality and Distortion came out via Metal Blaze Records. I have been a fan of Igor since, I think, your vocalist Travis was posting a lot about them before the previous record came out. Yeah. And he was on that, and I just sort of got hooked. I really, really, really enjoy this one. I feel like it's matured a bit. It's sort of calmed down a bit.
I like it better than the first.
Me too. A lot of people don't, and a lot of people want that craziness. I feel like there's more songs and less Mr. Bungle-esque changes and weirdness just for the sake of being weird. I feel like it's much, much, much catchier. The riffs are epic headbangers. The tone is like
with George.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I can't remember the name, but
it's amazing.
Just chills.
It's amazing, and anything with George is always a good thing.
Always great.
One of the greats right there. Oh, what are you doing there? What are you cracking there? What are you doing? Oh yes, VOX&OVERHOPS, the collaborative brew.
Special occasion tonight. So
I appreciate that very much. I sadly have none left. I sadly have none.
Dude, I've been saving this one for
yes, and of course I'm actually wearing the collab shirt right now and the OverHop Canada hat. I love that brew. It's a double dry hop New England IPA, Vic Secret, Enigma, and Citra hops, 7% ABV. Absolutely delicious. I love it, and I'm very excited to see it come back. I'm hoping. Balls in your court, OverHop. I want to do it.
I'll keep this can for sure.
It's super dope. It happens so organically.
You still have some of these t-shirts?
I do not.
Boo.
Back to the Igor album. There's this one song in particular called the Polyphonic Rust, where it's just so orchestrated, right? So it's like the vocals are just incredible. How
many vocals is there? Is there 3 vocalists?
I believe there's
the guy who scream,
and then there's Laure, the clean operatic voice.
Oh, okay.
Just
is it
killer.
Igor with 3 R?
3 R's, of course. You can't have an Igor with 2 R's, but I love it. It's every track's a little bit different. There's the weird polka beats, which brings me back to my love of Mr. Bungle, which I love so much. And
hold on, I need to find it. Okay, the Musette Maximum.
What's
Musette
that?
Maximum. That's my track on this album.
Okay.
It sounds a bit like a French.
Yes.
The bass player on this. He's Erlen Casperson. He played with Deeds of Flesh. He played with Decrypted Bird, Spawn Obsession. He's a killer. And also oh my god, I have a blank. The guy from Soulfly. He played the bass on this album.
Really?
Yeah, man.
It's a super group. I don't even know it.
Mike Leon, yeah. We did a Twitch together, a live Twitch this year, and he told me, I played bass on a couple of tracks on the new Igor. Like,
really?
How cool is that, man?
Didn't that Twitch go for 5 hours?
It's insane, man. Some people stream for 10 hours straight.
That's crazy. That Twitch works. Yeah. If you got a following, you got to do it. You got to be consistent and keep it going. Okay, up next.
So this is my last one.
Do it. I know what it is.
All right. It might be a bit controversial, but let's go.
I agree with it.
I'll go with Code Orange.
Hell yeah.
Band of the Year, Code Orange. And not only Band of the Year, but I think it's going to be the next big thing. Code Orange. They had a massive year, even though they didn't tour. It's huge, man. I feel like they are the leader of a new metal movement.
It's very interesting, the mixture of the metal and the electronic.
I
But it's
call
very,
them the
very tasty.
new metal.
Yeah.
It's a new metal. So I'm not sure how people will, like, in what category people will put them, but because they have the like the deathcore, no, not deathcore, like hardcore influence. They have obviously new metal influence, grunge influence, and emo influence. They sound like they remind me of they have a couple of songs on the new album, and they remind me of, I don't know, Thrice or My Chemical Romance, which I don't know why. I shouldn't love it, but the match is perfect.
When it's heavy,
Like,
it's fucking
the
heavy.
heaviness with the catchy chorus and the riff are so bizarre. Like, I don't get it. I watched on YouTube, there's a playthrough, or not a playthrough, like a lesson by the chick's guitar player. I can't remember her name. Dude, I don't get it. Like, she played the riff. I don't understand what's going on. Like, wow.
That's cool. It's creative, and they're signed
Also,
to Roadrunner. To have an album come out on Roadrunner.
And have you heard the live acoustic album they put out this time?
That I have not heard. No.
That's good, man. It's like almost like an unplug,
Very cool.
Unplug kind of thing. That they play most of the new album acoustic. They cover Alice in Chains, Down in the Hole. It's really great, and I feel like I said, they are the next big thing. 2020 was their year. Code Orange is the new leader of a certain movement. I don't know what it is, but I guess we'll find out after this whole pandemic. When shows are gonna come back, I feel like they're gonna need shows. They're gonna need
they're
to
definitely
go
gonna
out
go.
and just let all the negative energy out, and I feel like bands like Code Orange is gonna be a massive leader in a way.
Very cool.
Maybe
very
I'm
cool.
wrong. Maybe
the vocals have gotten better in this band as well, because that was always something that turned me off before. I feel like the cleans were never very excellent, to put it bluntly. On this one, I feel like they hit their mark, and I agree with you. This whole resurgence of new metal is something that is going to be happening. It's big. It's already happening. You got Tetrarch already. That's
Tetrarch. Yeah.
moving a bunch of waves.
I did vocal on their album.
Did you?
Me, Travis, Josh, Ross, or TM, and
Amazing. Because they recorded with David Taro too.
And we were in Denver last year. We had a day off in Denver, and we were supposed to go out for dinner with David Taro, and he was still working with Tetrarch, and he came to see us. And he was like, "Guy, would you mind coming in the studio to do some gang vocals? Like, we don't know them. Like, what's the deal? You just need to shout this word. Like, let's go."
Very cool.
We went, and I don't know if they kept the gang vocals for the album. But, and you know what? I never heard of them before, and this year they were all over the place on my Facebook feed.
Absolutely. They're killing it.
Crazy.
With one single, basically. With one single, they're killing it.
What's their song? No. Anyway, they have it. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. They put out a single, and it was huge. Just million streams.
It's still killing it. I had Diamond on the podcast.
You remember me of Korn?
Yeah.
With Linkin Park.
Yeah. I like them. I'm stoked for the album. They signed to Napalm Records, which is very cool, and I'm excited to see where that goes. I'm gonna wrap up with, it's probably my record of the year, just because I listened to it so much. It is a very, very interesting record. It's interesting to have Deftones on this list alongside this, because they have been coined as the new modern Deftones. That was what everyone was describing them as this the promo for the record was going out earlier this year. This is a February 7th release, and I've listened to it so many times, basically because it came out that long ago. This is, of course, Loathe. I Let It In, and It Took Everything came out via Sharp Tone. Just a killer record. It somehow is three bands on one album, because one song, it could be super heavy, having
What album?
it's called the band is Loathe. I Let It In, and it took everything. So one track will be super heavy, somewhat genty, spastic guitar riffage going on with just shrieking, but not annoying, higher register vocals, a bit hardcore-ish. And then the next track is basically could be a Deftones song, a smooth, melodic, soaring hooks without them being too cheesy, just like sexy songs. Sexy Deftones songs, which is exactly what Deftones has. They have this weird sex appeal to them. You know what I mean? So
have you seen it's corn for horny people.
So I think this would have been their year. I think that they would have made a huge impact this year if they could have toured this record. If they could have, I can imagine them opening for Deftones or opening for other new metal bands. They could also open, if Dillinger was still around, they could also stand next to them because they have those spastic heavy tracks. It's a great record, and it is a record that takes you on a trip because you don't know what you're going to get, but somehow it all fits together, which is beautiful. Excellent record. So that wraps up our top 10. Now let's dance through and quickly name out. Let's do two at a time. You name out two of your honorable mentions, why you enjoyed it, and then I'll do the same.
Actually, I'm gonna need to mention three at a time, and you'll understand why.
Go for it.
It's check it out. It's not all, but three major bands from the Unique Leader beginning of 2000s era. They came back this year to put out a new album, and the three of them are amazing. And I'm talking about Audius Mortem with the new album Synesthesia, Disavowed. They put out Revocation of the Fallen, and the last but not least, Deeds of Flesh, man, with Nucleus. It's my top 3 death metal pick this year will be this, because I was waiting for Audius Mortem since 2006. It's been that long. Disavowed 2007.
That cover art is beautiful.
It's been years, man, since they put out new shit. And Deeds of Flesh obviously is the conclusion of the trilogy because it's all a concept. The last 3 albums is a concept, and that's the conclusion. And I'm glad they did it because I don't know that people should know that Eric Lindmark from Unique Leader and Deeds of Flesh passed away. So the band carry on, and they just finish is art. So I'm glad they did because it's a monstrous album. I love it so much. They have
all the guest vocalists. So
many cool guests. Yeah. And why are you not on this, man?
I don't know. I don't know the right people.
Dude, it was so fun. The first listen, I was like, oh shit, that's this guy. Oh, George. Oh shit, John Gallagher, Frank Mullen. It was all over the place. All these guys were on the same album. It's the ultimate death metal tribute. So yeah, I love it a lot. Nucleus by Deeds of Flesh.
Awesome.
What about you?
Awesome. I just cracked this, and for those of you listening, I also did a top 10 Quebec microbrewery episode with Craig Thorne of the BAOS podcast and Noah Forrest of beerism.ca. It's our cumulative top 10, and I completely forgot to include Le Fermenteur in my honorable mentions, and I finished recording, and I felt so bad that I didn't mention them. So I just wanted to say that Le Fermenteur, absolutely a great Quebec microbrewery that you guys should check out. Super metal as fuck, and they make really cool beers always with an excellent.
Scotch.
It's a Scotch ale. They call it Bond Scotch. Come on, it's amazing. So
I had the Anonymous beer.
Me too. Yeah, delicious. Okay, I'm gonna do 3 this year. I'm gonna do 3 as well. These are less than metal albums, but you know me, I listen to everything. So, great Chinese post-rock band Wang Wen dropped their album 100,000 Whys on October 26th via Pelagic Records. I didn't know this was coming out, and oh shit, I love Wang Wen, so I stumbled upon it like the day that it dropped. Loved it, just excellent, complicated post-rock music. Very, very great musicians in this band. I love it. If you like stuff like Mogwai, but that takes you a bit more on a voyage, it's for you. We mentioned her previous band, Igor Lao Le Prunic, released a solo project called Reason. I hope I'm saying that right, and I'm not going to get the album name any better. Narrated, complicated stuff, but the music is very interesting. I'm a huge fan of Jarenne, who's a local Quebec artist. She plays cello and she sings. It's very operatic, very theatrical, very soundtrack-esque. And this sort of leans towards a very heavy Jarenne at moments. I really, really enjoyed this. This came out on October 23rd via Blood Music. And another great chill album that I listened to 1,000 times going to sleep this year was Steve Von Till, of course, of Neurosis, No Wilderness Deep Enough. Came out via Neurot Recordings on August 7th. What a great zen, depressing, yet there's this little tinge of hope. I don't know. It's
I was about to say hope.
Yeah, beautiful record. Okay, you go.
Okay, next. So many things. Azarat from Poland with drummer Inferno from Behemoth. They put out a new album this year, and it was, I can't say I'm a big fan of the band because I don't know not all of their material, but if you want some Polish death metal like Punishment, check it out. It's relentless. Like, if you like death metal like Eight Eternal and that kind of stuff, you will be pleased with Azarat, and also Temple of Perdition. My buddy Jean-Marie from Vengeful showed me that. It took me quite a moment to get into it, because at first I was like, yeah, it's just some blast beat like any other death metal bands. But the more you listen to it, and I don't listen to a lot of death metals anymore. I choose the band, I don't listen to death metal all day long. So now if I want my dose of blast beats, Azarat or Perdition Temple with Sacraments of Dissension.
Very cool.
It's a very punishing death metal.
Very cool. We got some brothers.
Very hard to pick death metal in so many bands.
Yeah, we got some brothers that dropped some records this year, and they're all killers. So I'm going to go through those right now. Of course, the Chernobyl Machines, Cytotoxin dropped Nuclear Earth via Unique Leader Records on August 21st, and it's a great record. Yeah, it's a great record. It's relentless, just punishing, but yet a little bit more mature. And I feel like the songwriting has taken a step in the right direction. I think it's probably from touring and knowing what works and being around other people, just and honing in on their craft. Just excellent, great record. Also, of course, how can we not talk about this? Our boys in Ingested, Where Only Gods May Tread, also Unique Leader Records. Exactly, August 14th.
Yes.
It's the song of the year because we listened to it 10,000 times at the cottage because Chris, our guitarist, Chris Donaldson, produced the record, and we always get the sneak peeks of whatever he's working on. So that track with Kirk, just killer, and the video is really cool too. We have other friends that dropped some stuff. Black Crown Initiate. Yes, that's true. Holy shit. Yes.
I just thought about it because I totally forgot. The EP was February or something?
Maybe March? Yeah.
It was at the moment we were at the chalet. So
holy shit, yeah. So shout out to them.
For the pandemic.
Yeah, it was too short then. It was one of those too short, that's why. Black Crown Initiate dropped Violent Portraits of Doomed Escape via Century Media on August 7th. And I was lucky enough, Andy Thomas had sent me this record right at the beginning of the pandemic, so I was listening to it a lot. It's their best record. It's the most balanced one. Before they would just switch back and forth between the cleans and the heavy, and I felt it
brewed. Yeah.
I felt it was a bit, I was a fan, but I felt it was a bit too generic. This one, they've really found a way to meld it together perfectly. Love that record. You have any more? You ready to go for more?
Dude, the last one I have on my list, check it out. Eminem.
Really? Oh shit.
Fuck yeah, man. Eminem put out an album, like he never promote the album or talk about it whatsoever.
He just dropped it.
He dropped it. And I was on my way back from NAM in January, and he just dropped the album. So I was at the airport, like, yeah, check it out. And honestly, I really enjoyed it, man. Like, it's sometimes cool to just listen to something different. I'm not a big hip hop guy, but this is a good album. I really enjoyed it. And the song Godzilla might be the craziest hip hop song, mainstream hip hop song, because I don't know enough hip hop to say that. I don't want people to like criticize me. You don't know shit about hip hop. I know, I don't know shit. But Godzilla
like
by Eminem is insane. And the music, the beats, it's really, really good. It's musical. The songwriting is there. It's not just like a guy who rap on the loop. No, there's music. It's almost, I don't know if Eminem has a band but there's a lot of like work behind the music. So
awesome.
I appreciate that a lot. Yeah.
I have to take a mat break because we're going to keep going for a bit. I have to pee. So you keep talking to people. I'm going to edit this out of the podcast, but I'm not going to edit
what about I have to pee too?
No, we have to take turns because we got to keep the video going.
Oh shit.
I'll go first.
What am I supposed to say?
I don't know, say something fun about something.
Let me tell you something about Megaki. So no, hey, well, I'm confused now. I don't know what to say. I guess cheers to 2020. What a year. Unfortunately, there was no shows this year, so I don't know if there's any like a top 10 show of the year. Can we do a top 10 show of the year? I don't think we can. Can do a top 10 live stream of the year. Deja? Already? Deja?
That's what happens.
Okay, my turn.
You go, P. I'm not even going to watch this. I'm just going to release whatever you just said. So.
Oh my God.
One of the things that I miss the most about being out on the road is getting to hang out with Oli. He's actually probably one of the funnest people in the world to be around. He just brings this energy, which is just so enjoyable, and I truly miss it. I remember sitting. I think we toured. The last time we toured together, we were in Asia doing the Kryptopsy Asian tour, and that was in the summer of 2019. So we haven't toured together since then. But earlier that year, we did Hell Over North America alongside of Voivod, Benighted, and Hideous Divinity, and I knew that he was going off to record with Cattle shortly thereafter this tour. So I had this moment this night where I was sitting there in the bandwagon with him and Chris. We were having a few beers, and I had to, like, took a picture with my mind of this moment, and I'm glad that I did, because I was like, oh, I'm not going to see him. We're not going to experience this for quite some time. I knew that the next tour he wouldn't be there. We would have Dom with us, who we mentioned earlier, who produced the Blight record, and he's such a big part of the Kryptopsy party fun. So Oli. So I was worried that this would be the last time, and little did I know how long exactly it would be until we actually got to party together again. So I'm glad I took that picture. I did have lots of fun with Dom subsequently on that tour. It was he's super awesome, super fun. And then we did do Asia, but Asia is so hard to have fun with because you're flying every day and you don't get the time.
What picture are you talking about?
Oh, a picture in my mind, just a picture.
Oh, in your mind. I thought it was a picture, because I have a good one from that tour.
I do have a picture.
Pushing Chris.
Yeah, I do have those pictures, but I mentally took a picture because I knew that I wouldn't be with you for very long. So and look how long it's become.
Man, I remember the last time it was in Japan, and I hugged Flo. I told her it was a great tour, and I was leaving
Because you flew
for
differently.
Summer Slaughter.
Yeah.
I was leaving and straight to LA to start Summer Slaughter, and that was the last time we were the four of us together in a normal situation.
It's true. Except the beginning of the cottage, but it quickly
but
it
was
quickly
already
transformed.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah, because people were already talking a lot about
It was already there since December of
Yeah.
2019. Coronavirus was already there, but beginning of March. In February, man, like I was in Japan, and I was like, "Fuck, am I gonna be able to come back home?" And my brothers, they were texting me like, "You're fucked, man. You're gonna be stuck there forever." I was like, "Shut up! Don't say that."
I have two thrash albums that I want to shout out. I'm not the biggest thrash fan.
Me too. I had one actually.
Of course, the Masters dropped an album this year, and that's Testament, of course. Titans of Creation came out via Nuclear Blast on April 3rd. It's a great record. It's
it's one of my favorite with that lineup. Because dude, I'm a bass player, okay? And Steve DiGiorgio, for me, it's
master.
I have to check it out. I think I listened to everything he did. And when the first time, maybe not the first time, but the album The Gathering in 2000, I remember I was like, oh shit, man, I need to buy this album. And I was like, there's not enough bass. So when he came back in 2015, 16, they put out Brotherhood of the Snake. And same thing, I was like, it's good there. I want more. I need more from the lineup. They have Gene Oldland, Steve DiGiorgio on the rhythm section.
Supergroup rhythm section.
But Titans of Creation, there. The songwriting, everything. Every member of the band shine on this record. And all the song, and the song Dream Deceiver is so catchy, man. I think that album was meant to be played in an arena.
Which it probably would have happened had it not been for Will's here.
I think that was supposed to be the plan, you know.
Well, hopefully that it carries over once shows come back. The second one is the thrash album that I didn't know I needed in my life. I would have never, ever, ever imagined, and you motherfucker, you played with them, and I was so damn jealous. I told you I was like, don't accept a beer from me because I might put poison in it. Yeah. Of course, talking about Mr. Bungle, The Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny came out October 30th. Ipecac Recordings. And I'm a huge Mr. Bungle fan. And I was super pissed when I heard that they were releasing this and not just a new record.
Yeah, me too.
Because I want, everyone wants that California project or a new.
Exactly.
But
Disco Volante.
They went back and did something completely different, and I had zero expectations of liking it, and I love it. I love it. It's the best thrash record of the year, I think.
I didn't spend enough time to. I haven't listened to the album like twice. I listened to it like in the background while doing other things. And like, yeah, it's okay, but it's not Mr. Bungle. When I'm listening to Bungle, I want like the self-titled album, like Carousel, Squeeze Me, Macaroni, like that. And dude, man, when the day of the show, because Cattle Decap, we opened the show in LA.
So jealous.
I was in the hotel room with Dave, and both of us woke up, took our phones, like in complete silence, and then it's almost like we look at each other and sometimes say, have you read that? Dude, Bungle, they don't play any song. They play their fucking demo. They exploited cover song. Are you kidding me? We were so pissed off. Like, this is bullshit. Fuck that. The show was totally fun though. Like, I changed my mind the night of the show, like, because I was side stage next to Scotty, and I was like, oh shit. I don't know if the energy in the place was, dude, it was a magical night. Mr. Bungle in LA. Like,
yeah, and when I had a chat with Trey, he was saying that they were totally planning on doing other gigs around the globe. So
oh yeah, for sure. I think they tried. Like, they just, those shows
were like a test.
Try out. Yeah, test. man, because it was a massive success, man.
Killer.
Massive. Yeah. And we played the second night in LA. Yeah. We played the second night in LA, and the bass player from Suicidal Tendencies was there, and I was hanging with him, and he told me, dude, last night the Metallica guys were here.
Wow.
What? But dude, Jerry Cantrell was there when I played. He was side stage watching us. Dude, I feel like a total idiot. I did something I should have never done. I went to him like a fanboy, like, oh, because it's Jerry Cantrell. I couldn't help myself.
How did he handle you? Well, was it Oli or was it Elo?
In between. I'm not shy anymore, so I can go talk to you. But I wasn't like.
You didn't jump on him.
No.
Elo would have jumped on him.
Yeah, Elo.
That's funny. I
Call the rooster, motherfucker.
I have a few more. I don't want to forget anybody. I have two extreme ones. I'll save the one that I prefer more for last. We got to give a mention to Black Dahlia Murder for Vernimus. Hell yes.
That's a great brew. Beer tonight, the Voivod Hopfenstark, the Lust Machine.
It's a really cool brew. It's a lager, a pilsner that they brewed by they heat up these rocks in a fire, and then they add it to the mash, and it gives this like caramel mineral feel to the brew. It's really interesting, and of course Voivod's always very interesting and out of the box, so they need a brew just like that. I really enjoyed that brew. So Vernimus, Black Dahlia Murder, Metal Blade Records, April 17th it dropped. Killer record. I feel like they had big shoes to fill because the last record was just so damn good. It was basically their Slaughter of the Soul.
Exactly, yeah.
This one was close, but it didn't hit the mark as much for me personally, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, what was the one before Night something?
Night Terrors? Yeah. Nightbringers?
Nightbringers. I think that's Nightbringer. I feel like that was the new Nocturnal.
Yeah, exactly.
Nocturnal is like the ultimate classic from that Black Dahlia, and I feel like Nightbringer was like the continuation.
The continuation, yes.
Continuation.
Black Dahlia.
The Black.
You guys are getting to see me and Oli just have fun because all this the podcast is gonna be nice and neatly cut. We're gonna know every single answer right away. Oh, come on, my internet is killing me. Anyways, we'll move forward. I have one last one. I believe it's my last one. I'm sure that there's more and that I've forgotten some. Oh, I have two. I have three. Okay, so we have of course, Imperial Triumphant. Alphaville came out via Century Media July 31st. This record was produced by Trey from Mr. Bungle. Great record, super avant-garde metal. I really, really think that they're a band to watch in the future. I think that they're a band that, Behemoth wouldn't have chosen them to open that live stream show if they didn't have something special going on, and I really think they do. It's disturbing. It's very disturbing music, and I like it. And I like the visual aspect. I like how they've evolved it over the years, and they started simple, and it just got more and more complex in a way that they can handle. And they're a band to watch, and the Alphaville is a perfect display of that. I have, of course, an EP I'd like to give a shout out to. This is actually an independent band, which I think is very cool, called Bather. The EP is called Phantom Guilt. That dropped on November 27th. That's a newish sort of thing that I really liked. Just heavy ass, slow, sludgy riffs, and then the occasional blast beat riff. Excellent vocals. I have an episode coming up with them in the next few weeks, so I'm excited to get a chat with their vocalist and see exactly where this album EP came from and why it wasn't a goddamn album. We have another new release that just came out called I'm gonna massacre this name, called Achilles AKHLYS, called Melino. Yeah, called Melino.
Is it the one you sent me?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't listened to it yet.
It's killer. It came out via Debbie Moore Morty Productions on December 14th. Excellent guitar work. Just phenomenal.
What about Akurion?
Oh shit. We didn't even talk about Akurion. An excellent release this year.
I'm just joking.
But it's true. But how many years in the making? You know, Mike DeSalvo on vocals.
At least 8 years. And
yourself.
Funny, we took our time to produce this album, and we wanted like a strong release. Everything was planned perfectly, but the pandemic happened, and then we signed to Redefining Darkness Records, and we already had like a release date, which was April 19th. So like, wow, we took 8 years to craft this album, to release it at the beginning of a pandemic. What a waste.
Being a band that's not going to tour, it's not the biggest issue.
But not only that, but I feel like especially in the beginning of pandemic, so March, April, May, June, I would say
people are just panicking.
Months. Exactly, and people didn't care about music that much.
It's true. I think you're right. I think people appreciate the music more later in the pandemic.
I feel like there's album that should have been huge. Like Dahlia Murder should have been a massive release. Testament, Sepultura,
through Quadra.
No, but think about it.
It's true.
Then Enslaved postponed. Hatebreed postponed the release of their album for later I think in fall.
Yeah, Hatebreed's just dropped late November, and that's another banger.
Even though there's no tour, it was better to release music later in this year, because I feel like people, I think now they pay attention maybe more than.
I think that they understand what the virus is, and the fear is a little bit less, although people are still afraid and should be. Not afraid, but careful.
Exactly. Yeah.
And people have turned to music as a cathartic experience to cleanse these negative thoughts.
And also it was too much at the time, like the pandemic, everything that was going on in the US with Trump and stuff. So it was a
finances,
lot of
the Black Lives Matter.
At the same time. Yeah, totally. So, man, I understand why there's a lot of album that people never heard of. It's because it's too much. There's no way you can listen to everything, and it's a shame because I feel like Black Dahlia, Testament. I feel like Testament, they were supposed, like I said, to start touring arena or something like that.
Crazy.
It sucks. This year sucks. It's the worst.
But we were lucky, and look at, as we were still talking, I still have bands to talk about, just great stuff. And there is one human on the earth that can listen to all the music, and his name is Jerry Monk, the metal architect for VOX&HOPS. He creates a playlist for me every week called the Brutal Awakenings playlist, and he drops all of the new music that dropped that week that is worth being put into a playlist, and you guys should check that out because the metal architect rocks. I have, I think, one more that I want to talk about, and it was so hard for me not two more. Sorry, I'm going to go with the extreme one and finish with the more anthem-y one. And I love this last one, but
I'm going to finish with my songs of the year. But
perfect. I got Anal Nathrak, who dropped Endarkenment just via Metal Blade, October 2nd. I think it's their best record.
The video. Have you seen the video?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Just
the pigs and stuff.
So disturbing.
So great.
And just killer album that I feel like they've really mastered. You know, Mick works and produces a lot of more poppier stuff, and I feel like some of that has bled into the songwriting of the extremity of Anal Nathrak. It's just killer album. The vocals are insane as usual. The cleans are even more epic. I love it, and another band that I would just love to tour with. I think a Kryptopsy and Anal Nathrak tour would crush, and I would love to do that.
I don't think they toured though. I think they do like
festival experience,
like
Pig Destroyer-esque.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
They do play show because I played with them in 2012.
We played with them recently. You weren't there with Dom when we did the Netherlands Death Fest.
Oh yeah.
And of course, we have to mention Beneath the Massacre, Extreme Montreal.
Can't believe
Extreme.
I
So
forgot
fucking
about
fast, so fucking brutal. The drummer they had was just a killer. What's his name? Anthony.
Oh shit! I'm gonna double check because I don't want to say.
It is Anthony.
I don't want to say random stuff. Anthony Barron.
That is what it is. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I think he also played the drums on the Shadow of Intent last year. Just killer.
Anthony Barron. Yeah.
Yeah, killer drummer. I'm so happy they're back. I've been a fan for years. I toured with Kryptopsy with them back in 2009.
They're the best.
Yeah, they're in shape. I love it. And just brutal as fuck. And my last thing that I'm going to talked about a lot of things. I feel like I covered everything. Is a Canadian band that just killed it. Their album is amazing. It should have been in my top 5 because I listened to it that much. Unleash the Archers, Abyss, dropped via Napalm Records, August 21st. What an album. It's just so catchy. Brittany kills it on this record. Just the song.
I remember we played with them in Armstrong Festival.
Yes, I remember 100%. And they were super fun. This is just the perfect record for them. It's a continuation of the storyline from the previous record. She's very creative. The vocals are just insane. She's probably one of the best front woman, front man, whatever in the game today. She is a murderer. Just such a good vocalist. I love this record, and if it was my top 10, I would have squeezed it in for sure.
Oh, sick. I don't have any albums, but I have a song of the year.
Memories.
Not even. Dude, song of the year was from. It's not on any album. It's from the Slay at Home, Metal Injections, live.
I know what you're gonna say.
Luke Lemay, David Davidson, Liam Wilson from Dillinger Escape Plan, and Elliot Hoffman.
Produced by.
Memory. I mean, Chris Donaldson. What a song, man! Dude, I told Luke we need more of that.
I told Dave the same thing when I interviewed him.
Brilliant. Like, wow. Like I'm speechless. I was speechless because Chris he did the mix and produced the whole thing. He sent me a sneak peek, like, "Hey, well, check it out."
As he did.
And I told him, dude, that's massive. Like, that's the best shit I've heard in years.
Yeah, Dave was freaking out. Dave loves Luc Lemay, and his whole time just working with him, he was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I'm doing this." And Luc is such a focused person that when he's not touring or working on music, he doesn't even play guitar. Dave told me, he sort of brought him out of riff retirement.
Yeah,
which is amazing. Yeah. And Liam's amazing, of course.
So that's one of the song of the year for me. After Ingested, Memories, and Body Count, Carnivore.
Oh shit, we didn't even talk about Body Count. What a great
and
record.
Number 1, 6 Feet Under, Zodiac. Song of the fucking century. Dude, come on, it's the best. And then, I know a lot of people, they love to hate. We're still talking about it 6 months later, and I want to see of her. It's the best song. Come on, man.
Oh shit. I
had so much fun listening to it.
He needs some people in his circle that can tell him no. That's all he needs. He has way too many yes men in his circle. That's all I can say about that.
Yes man.
And for his own good, he needs to reevaluate that. That's all I'll say on that. Oli, thank you so much. Everyone listening, please let us know if we missed any. I feel like we were rather thorough, but I'm sure we forgot some. Always a pleasure to hang out with you, Mr. Oli Pinard.
Yes.
I'm stoked to see you in real life and to finish this goddamn Kryptopsy record so that we can start doing some stuff. And, hopefully the pandemic will go away and we can all start banging our heads together again.
Happy holiday, I guess.
Happy New Year, because this is dropping on January 1st.
Oh, okay.
Cheers.
Good. So Happy New Year's, man.
Cheers.
And everyone, cheers.
Beautiful.
Hey, thank you all so much for listening right to the end. You know that I love and appreciate that. It is always such a blast to hang out with Oli. It is just something that has really gotten to me due to the pandemic, just not being able to hang out with my brothers as much as I would love to. We do it like this via Zoom, but it's not the same, and you know what I mean. But this was a pleasure. We hung out for quite a bit after this. It was really nice just to get silly together, just like we would if we were out on the road after a gig. It was fun, and if you're listening to Oli, I love you, and I really appreciate you doing this with me, and I hope that it becomes a tradition. We've done it 2 years in a row. I'd like to keep doing. If you guys enjoyed this Vox and Hops episode, please subscribe to it on the podcast platform of your choice. But not only that, take the time to rate it and write a review, because if you do that, more people just like yourself will be able to discover the Vox and Hops podcast. Vox and Hops is brought to you by Sound Talent Media. I will be back next week with 2 episodes, one dropping on Tuesday and then another on Friday. But until then, remember to enjoy life, metal, and craft beer. Cheers, Vox and Hops heads.